Check, check. All right, sorry about that, everybody. Just doing a quick test on all of this technical stuff and make sure there's no echo. And we'll get started here. Just want to make sure all the audio is working, making sure that you can hear the mic, making sure that the game's working. There's no real game audio right now anyway, so. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so this is the Kickstarter, another doing a quick episode of Kickstarter Live for Duel Hand Disaster Tracker. This is a split-screen, single-player, twin-stick risk 'em up. And I just announced some stuff this week, last week actually. Just want to make sure that any pledges above $25 will be getting making sure that the game's working. Complimentary Xbox One code on the house. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so this is. Let's make sure. Sorry if there is a delay. Give me a sec. Let me make sure this is working. We'll be getting. Okay. Yeah, so sorry if you guys heard an echo. I think I might have fixed that already. Let's switch over to the camera just so you guys can see me. It's a little dark, but it's all good. All right, the audio should be fixed. Please let me know in the chat if anything is up with the audio or anything like that. Okay. Starting up. And switch this back over. There we go. Cool. So yeah, there's a really long delay between me and the video. But let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who don't know, my name is JC. I am the creative director of Ask an Enemy Studios out of El Paso, Texas. I am currently working on a dual hand disaster tracker, which is a split screen single player twin stick risk 'em up. And it should be coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC on Steam. And this is the Kickstarter for the final 10%. I've been working on this game for about 2.5 years. And yeah, I have a full-time day job. And the day job helps pay for stuff. Not entirely. I do get some support from friends and family and stuff as well. To go out to these events and everything, but the primary point is that having a day job does actually suck while making a game, but you do what you have to. You know, have sacrifices for everything you want to do. Not everything in life can go according to plan, so yeah, I decided to start up a Kickstarter for the final 10% of development. It's not like I've been, you know, just working on this game for a week, have an idea, and then asked for money to fund it. This idea has been executed on. It's, yeah, it's been worked on for a long time, and now I'm just at the tail end of development. I announced last week that the game will be coming to Xbox One as well, so like I mentioned earlier, you'll be getting codes for that if you pledge more than 25 bucks. And yeah, so I decided, I did some work over the weekend, finally got it up and running again on Xbox One. I was having some problems a little while ago. The frame rate's still not where it needs to be. It's still a little framey, I guess. But it should be working. Give me a quick second. I'm just going to... No, not that. And just post something over here. Okay, never mind. I got that. Got that going. All right, cool. Sorry, just wanted to make sure the stream was going up there. Yeah, so I've been doing some work to the Xbox One version. Nothing crazy. Just more the idea of getting it up and running and stuff. And that's kind of the whole purpose of this Kickstarter, is to, for the final 10%, I have friends who I've made in the industry who always talk about the final 10% being the hardest part. Mostly because, you know, a lot of the last minute stuff is basically, or not last minute, but the final stuff of development is basically working on tying up some loose ends, doing stuff like that. On console, there's this thing called certification, which if any of you guys go back and you'll see the video for the Kickstarter, certification doesn't necessarily cost anything. It costs time. It costs time, which is basically... Oh, shit. So I just got a backer there. Number 40, John Shrek. Thank you, sir. Number 40, huh? I've been at 39 for the last day or so. It's been going pretty good. I mean, I'm asking for a lot. That's not for you to worry about. All you need to do is make a decision. If this game works for you and you think it's cool enough, and you feel like backing it, feel free. You know, ask any questions. I encourage you guys to ask questions about the game. I'm about to show the Xbox One version here. But yeah, it's kind of hard to talk and play at the same time. So that's why I want to, you know, while I'm getting this all set up, if you guys have any questions, feel free to just throw them into the chat. And I've got chat going here on YouTube, Twitch, and Kickstarter Live. And I forgot what the third one is. Oh, Mixer, that's right. So it should be live on Mixer as well if you're watching on Xbox. I'm pretty sure you could type into the chat. One of the really cool things about the Xbox One version, well, so here's the thing is I actually do not remember, I'm going to be completely honest. I had a meeting with the people at Mixer at E3 regarding the interactivity of stuff, like interacting with the game while people are playing or whatever. And it's actually really, really cool. From the beginning, when I first started designing the game, I had these ideas of having the game be part of, you know, interacting with Twitch. So if people are watching you play the game on Twitch, it basically, people could mess with your game, because I always thought that kind of stuff was really cool. So if someone was watching you play, they could kind of mess with your game. And I'll show you guys right now when I play. When you get to tier 3, that's essentially what the Twitch mode would have been. It was basically they're like messing with your screen, so your screens will swap left and right. Your sticks will invert and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really cool. But at the same time, you know, I don't deny it's super challenging, and that's kind of the idea. Is I wanted this game to be, you know, something different from your normal twin stick shooters. And you also have to keep in mind, I tried to go to school to learn game design. It was a complete waste of time. So I basically just started with something that I knew I could finish, something relatively simple, right? Since I didn't know how to make a video game, I didn't want to go out and like some people do, and they say they want to make the next Call of Duty or the next, you know, Elder Scrolls or something. No way, man, that was not me. I didn't want to have like a big ass team or anything like that. That kind of stuff just seems like a pain in the ass. So I love talking game design. If you guys have any questions about how the game was designed, anything like that, feel free to, you know, just throw it into the chat. I'm going to start up the game here. And once again, this is the Xbox One version. So any of you guys that kind of just jumped in, if you pledge more than $25, the Xbox One version is now included in your pledge. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this up and make sure. Okay, so I'm using a Razer Ripsaw, which is actually a really big pain in the ass. It keeps disconnecting, and I don't know why. Hopefully it doesn't crash on the stream. Honestly, it's a piece of shit. So if you guys are thinking about getting a Razer Ripsaw, sorry, it's pretty shitty. Constantly desyncs and stuff. But so yeah, this is the game. Essentially, you're controlling both ships at the same time. Your left stick is your left ship, left and right only. Left trigger to shoot. On the right side, you're avoiding all of these enemies and trying to capture resources to multiplier points. So while you're on a resource like this, for example, you want to kill enemies at the same time, because if you're not killing enemies, you're not taking advantage of the recovery bonus. The recovery bonus, notice when you get on top of it on the right, it says hazard bonus. That's because I'm next to this fire tower here. So I actually reward you a higher bonus for staying on it and killing enemies, because you're a lot closer to danger. So yeah, it gets real intense. So like notice right there, I got 250 points, as opposed to if I just kill this guy. So yeah, if you blow off their shields, it pushes them back. Notice I just got 5 points. So if I'm on the resource and I'm killing the enemy at the same time, let's see if I can pull this off again. Oh fuck. Okay, so these guys right here that are following me, those are these guys on the left that I'm letting pass. So if those enemies pass me, they will spawn on the right and come for her material. And not only come for her material, they'll actually kill her really quick. So only 2 of those guys, if you're standing still, will instantly take you out. They cause heavy damage for a reason. You know, on the left-hand side, you do not take damage, so you don't have to worry about getting hit. All you want to do is keep them out of the left side. So that's a pro tip there. You can actually hide in the Disastrous Core and use it to your advantage. So notice I get power cells on the left-hand side, which upgrades my rate of fire. I get those anytime I pick up material on the right side. So for example, let's go ahead and start this side. Okay. So notice when I pick up the material on the left side, I get an upgrade. So what I want to do, kill that guy, keep him from coming. Get that. Now I have 5 of 8 repeater upgrades. So I need 3 more, and I'll max my rate of fire on the left.
Material retrieved.
Let's do this. Okay, so also, again, this is really hard to do and talk at the same time. So I apologize if I kind of stay quiet at some point. I'm just trying to focus. But yeah, so on the left-hand side, again, you don't take damage, but moving and shooting just like this on the left will consume my link in the center of the screen. You guys actually can't see it because I have the camera there. So let me actually move that out of the way. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so now that you can see, the bottom of the screen, the bottom center of the screen has a link and an extract. When your extract is ready, the primary goal of the whole game is you want to get a high score, but the only way to keep your score is to leave the level with it. So unlike most score-based games, you cannot play till death. You have to decide when to keep your score. So if you die, not only do you lose your score, you lose your leaderboard position as well. And remember, every time you pick up material, you're getting upgrades, so you want to make sure you can time that correctly so you don't lose out on them. And again, this is the Xbox One version, so it's not fully optimized. So right now when I kick in my shields, that's usually when the frame rate gets all choppy, and that's my thing, you know, I need to optimize that. There are a lot of games that are built in Unity where it gets to some performance issues on console. Obviously on PC you've got way more overhead, and on console you don't. You're basically set to whatever you have. So the frame rate tends to drop once this whole thing gets crazy. If you're hearing some weird, let's see, sorry, the stream might have froze. There you go. So yeah, if you hear some weird vibration, let me see if I can show you. So again, since this is the Xbox One version, I take advantage of the rumble triggers. Let me move the camera just so you guys can see. So yeah, the rumble triggers are actually really cool. So on the left-hand side, when you shoot your weapon, you actually get a vibration for each one of those, you know, repeater shots that you take. It's not fully optimized, so right now it's just kind of like a really quick. So yeah, you can hear that. I don't know if it comes across on the stream. But yeah, it's not fully optimized. It's a little too fast right now, so it just feels like a mush. But yeah, notice that frame rate is now starting to dip a little bit. Let's see if I can speed this up. So that was a bug. Hey Armani, what's up, man? Yeah, this is the Xbox One version. I worked on it some over the weekend. I had to upgrade to 5.5.0 P1. Not like that matters to many people. But I had to upgrade to that version for a reason that I'm hoping to announce very, very soon. But yeah, because of that, there were some bugs that were in the old version. I was originally on 5.41. No, 5.4.4, and it was causing me some problems with the Xbox One and PlayStation version, and it's running pretty good now. So yeah, I haven't even really been focusing too much on what I'm actually doing. But yeah, so I'll just show you guys real quick, and this is how you leave the level. So yeah, this is really mellow. This is really slow. You can speed up the rate of the enemies. It used to, your your shields would automatically, on the right-hand side, would automatically activate anytime you would pick up 3 material. And what happened was, too many people were getting overwhelmed. So what happens is when your shields are activated, it activates your multiplier on the left-hand side, which means way more enemies start to come in. So, you know, the pace kicks in, and it's pretty intense. So basically what I ended up doing is I ended up, bring that slide back. I ended up pacing it a little better so that it starts off, you know, fairly mellow, but you can ramp it up whenever you want. All you have to do is activate your shields. At the same time, activating your shields will sacrifice more material. So that's also something you want to keep an eye out for. Yeah, so I'm not paying too much attention. But anyway, let's just go ahead and jump into Tier 2. And maybe towards the end here, I'll do a straight run where I won't pay so much attention to like chat and stuff. And I can focus on a solid playthrough and show you guys exactly how the game actually works. But I apologize if you guys are getting some frame rates or streaming issues. I don't show any issues out here outside of my CPU's a bit bottlenecked. I'm running an AMD on this particular CPU, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, so yeah. Go into Tier 2. So this is an interesting thing. And this is something that throughout development, give me a sec, I'm actually going to turn this light on here because it's a little dark. There we go. All right, so going to Tier 2, a lot of this stuff in the UI, let me move my camera out of there. So a lot of this stuff in the UI, you'll see, hopefully it's coming across on the stream. It shows a little blurry here. But yeah, so you can choose this wager thing. The wager will essentially, right now it's not working as intended, but basically what the wager is going to do is it will let you place a wager on your, based on your previous score, right? So I left with 12,000 points on my last run. So what's going to happen now is whatever I wager, that amount, if I do not, if I die in the process, my score in the leaderboard will be wiped out. So if I die, my leaderboard position will be completely wiped out. It'll be 0. But if I wager this amount and I reach that amount and I die, I will keep that position on the leaderboard. So say, for example, I left with 12,000. I know it's kind of hard to explain. But once you get the game going and you understand how it all works, it makes total sense. So anyways, okay, you're going to wager, say, 3,005. I'll need to reach 3,000 points before I'm even able to keep that position. So if I leave Tier 2 with that amount, if I reach that amount, I'll get that amount tacked on top of whatever my score was, and I will keep my previous leaderboard position. That's how it's working so far. I might do something a little different, but that's the basic premise so far. And so for the hell of it right now, since there's really no penalty right now because the leaderboards aren't working the way they're supposed to, I'll just do 100% just to show you guys. So this is fairly new. So if any of you guys have actually caught this, okay, I see what's going on here. Is the video on Kickstarter is actually just using the camera. No wonder. So if you guys are watching this on Kickstarter, sorry, I just wanted to point this out. Your video feed is actually cut at the top and the bottom a little bit. So yeah, if you guys want to, you can obviously go and watch it on Twitch or YouTube. I know some of you are watching it on YouTube, so that's cool. Anyway, so I need to go activate Disastrous Core. Go ahead and do this. So every tier, there are only 3 tiers so far. And that's all that will be in the final game. I can always expand it and add more, but I've gotten some good feedback in the sense of like people like what's there so far. It's not anything too super complex, but you know, it's 2017 DLC. You can always do that if you want. So again, the basic gameplay on the tiers is the exact same, except now I've got heat-seeking fireballs. So here's the thing though, if I let it get close to me, and I don't let it hit the right ship, the DFR, I can take advantage of what's called a kite bonus. And that kite bonus is essentially going to let me multiply my score on the left-hand side by 2,000. And that is also a working target. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna leave it there or possibly even make it more. The reason being is, man, that bonus is awesome. So, let's see, again, this is really hard to do while you're playing at the same time. So, I'm also doing this shortcut. It's like a pro tip if you guys want to use this. When you're recovering a resource, you can actually hold down the A button, which means you have to let go of the stick on the right side. Unless you're one of those fucking claw type people that actually, you know, does it that way. You might be able to cheat the system that way. But anyway, so if you hold down A, you actually get to recover the resource a lot quicker. That was originally meant as more of a kind of debug type thing to speed up the process when I'm trying to show the game to people that are kind of just kicking it. But I actually liked it as a mechanic. It fits the skill set, I guess, you know, if you want to be that, if you want to go that route. So let's see. Yeah, again, those enemies on the right, these right here, are enemies I'm letting pass on the left. So I want to make sure I don't let them pass me because they will mess me up. However, so here's a good example. Notice how the guy on the right over here is all damaged. Let's, this is one way to deal with them and get something for it. So no, they're actually going to run into each other. Okay, cool. So that was an accident, but this might work in my... There we go. So if you stay in the Disastrous Core, it becomes a safe space. It's missing some UI stuff, which, you know, that'll be a little more obvious. When you get in here, the controller will start to vibrate, letting you know something's happening. And if something's coming at you, say for example like that fireball, it automatically kills it. So there's a plus and a minus to that. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So notice those fireballs are coming at me, right? Notice the bottom of the screen says kite bonus 2,000. So if I kill this enemy while that fireball's still alive, okay, so I didn't do it. It would have been multiplied by 2,000, so it would have been 20,000 points a shot, I suppose. If my math is right. And I'm terrible at math, so let's see. My score, again, since you guys have the, if you are watching this on Kickstarter, if you're watching it on YouTube, you can see the whole screen. But your score is up at the top. That your real-time score, you're completely, the score you would leave with if you left with it is that big number in the top of the center of the screen. If you can't see the top because it's cut off, it shows you destruction and material. So every time you pick up material, you are actually multiplying your score, your overall score. On the left-hand side, you're getting what's called destruction. So every enemy that you kill, you're getting points. The left side is the only side that can earn points. On the right-hand side, these resources will multiply those points. So your destruction times your material is what your score is. And yeah, that's how we roll. So again, I can go to tier 3. Let's go ahead and try it just for the hell of it. And see how good we can do. So yeah, there we go. So I made the wager bonus. Notice destruction is 61,000. So yeah, that's where I'm talking about, where your destruction you have to reach the wager in your destruction before you can keep it as a bonus. So I got my destruction times my material plus my bonus, and my total score is now 567,000. You could actually go a lot higher than that, and as a matter of fact, someone at PAX South by the name of Jeremy actually broke the scoring system. Again, since I am not a programmer by trade, yeah. Since I'm not a programmer by trade, this whole thing is new to me, and I found out the hard way that an integer will only hold a certain amount of points, right? So I think it's like 2 billion or something like that. Jeremy at PAX South got 3 billion something, and the only reason we figured that out, let me trade this over here. Yeah, the only reason we figured that out was because he reached the score. He reached the max score, which is 2,000,000,011 something something. And the score was basically wrapping itself around. If you're not familiar with code, an integer will basically, when it reaches its I think they call it overflow. When it reaches its max, it will wrap back around into negative and then go back up into the positive. And since he was using all sorts of bonuses, using his multiplier, all that stuff was stacking on top of each other. And essentially, like, his score just maxed out massively. And because of that, you know, we were able to find that bug, and now I'm trying to figure out how to fix that, because there's nothing I love more, and this is a score chasing type game, so there's nothing I love more than seeing these massive point bonuses and massive scores. So I do want scores to be really high. At the same time, when your score is really high, you also find out the hard way that you have to remember to leave with it. So a lot of people, that's when the greed kicks in, right? And people start to freak out and they're like, oh my God. And then they die and yeah, they lose it all. So that's how that works. Okay. So let's do tier 3. Again, tier 3 will work the same way. Shit, let me start this up. Okay, so tier 3 will work the same way. You'll actually be wagering your score again. Big int? Huh. Thanks, man. I think that's Sergio, if I remember correctly, right, my man? Okay, so big int. So actually, here's the thing. It's not so much the integer. The thing is, the integer, nice. Yeah, so the thing is, the integer is the only, so the leaderboards, for example, Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live require an integer. So that's the problem there, is that's what I need to figure out. There's a problem with integers and pushing that to Steam. So believe it or not, someone at GDC actually brought up the idea that using multiple leaderboards to do the math and then posting them to another leaderboard. So that's a possibility, and that's something I could do because that's a lot easier to track because the integer on the left-hand side very rarely goes up higher. I mean, I've seen it go up to like, 53 million or something like that. But that number is rarely higher than what the integer can hold. So there's a possibility that I could actually do 2 leaderboards, a leaderboard for the score and then another leaderboard for the integer, then I'm sorry, for the material, and then add those together and do that kind of stuff. Yeah, so potency of 10, that's crazy because other people have mentioned that and I don't understand that 100%. Yeah, dude, if you're familiar with that, I would appreciate that. Like, feel free to email me. I'm sure you have my email. Obviously, you could also go to askenemystudios.com/contact if any of you guys have, any type of feedback in terms of that. That'd be cool. That's always really much appreciated. So here we go. Fucking this thing restarted again. Give me a sec. Okay. So again, Razor Ripsaw is a piece of shit. So yeah, let's go back into this. So tier 3. Tier 3 is all hells of intense. Alright, let's go in. There we go. So yeah, there's some audio cues missing there too, that audio and visual cues. So notice the center of the screen now says EVA control bonus. Let's see what I get here. Okay, Ice Cream Social. The best way to deal with socialism, don't participate. It goes by quicker. There we go. Let's go ahead and start this one up, see what else I get. So every time you pick up material, that's what initializes the EVA control bonus. Okay, I got Ice Cream Social again. So this one's not working yet. This one's still a work in progress. So essentially what's gonna happen during Ice Cream Social is any points that you get will be removed when you pass this. So actually you don't want to be killing anything because you're gonna get all of those points subtracted from your score. So yeah, you can move around, so I don't punish you that much because you do obviously want to be avoiding you know, enemies and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, if you don't move, that's how you best deal with Ice Cream Social. So Death Sentence will immediately bring you down to Sliver Bullet bonus, which if I'm killing enemies at the same time, I'm multiplying my score by 500. Also on top of any other bonuses that I have. So the thing is, one hit and I'll die immediately. So you want to be super careful with that. Oh fuck. Okay, so also if you survive it, your health gets back to normal. So notice my score is already higher than it was in this amount of time when I was playing the normal tiers. So yeah, the higher the tier, the higher the reward bonus. Yeah. Shit, Death Sentence, okay. So during Death Sentence, again, you want to be real careful. You want to make sure you don't get hit because one more hit and you're dead. But also, notice, if I shoot the wrong thing, those points are multiplied also. So negative points will be multiplied and you can lose a lot of your score. So Ice Cream Social, again, don't mess with anything. Stop moving. There we go. Notice my rate of fire is a lot quicker. Every time you pick up those upgrades, you're gonna get higher rate of fire. So yeah, this is another thing, I don't know if you guys haven't caught on to this. On the left-hand side, remember when I said you move and you shoot, you consume the link in the center of the screen. Move this out of the way so you guys can see. Whoa, that was close. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Oh crap, okay, cross-side. So cross-side will swap your screens. I'm still using the left stick to control the right. So yeah, do the math. But if you're killing enemies, you're multiplying your score. On the right-hand side, if you're recovering resources during cross-side, you're multiplying the amount of material that you're picking up. So yeah, it gets hella intense. Oh shit, so Skyfall will flip the screens. Oh, fuck. And you still get heat-seeking fireballs. So again, remember, if you keep them close, that was 37,000 points in one shot. Whoa. I want you guys to see my favorite one. Oh man, Death Sentence again. So there are 3 levels of Death Sentence. There's critical health, there's low health, critical health, and Sliver Bullet. Sliver Bullet is the max, which obviously makes it harder for you to see. Whoa. I don't have to haul ass. I just need to keep it from hitting the ship. That's the only thing. So again, remember, kill an enemy, 30,000. This. Material retrieved. Also, boosting on the right-hand side. Notice it starts to turn red. Boosting will, if I'm boosting, I will take a lot less damage. If I'm boosting and my shields are active, I don't take damage at all. So that's definitely something I want you to take into consideration when you're flying around. Which lends itself to the ADHD acronym of having your shields active and all that kind of stuff. there. I don't want to. So that right there that you kind of saw real quick on the right side was me activating my shields, but I don't want to do it until there's actually a bug. It's not supposed to let you do that until you have all of your weapons powered up on the left. Oh, fuck. So inversion on the left will make my left, right, right, left. Right, left. Yeah. Okay. Move on down here. Whoa. Okay. I also did some work on the UI. So I moved the extract down to the bottom. Changed the font on the main score and made it bigger because I always liked the way that looked, having the score be in the center of the screen all huge. At the same time, I also liked how nice and clean that was, and making it transparent so that it's there when you want to see it, but not in your way if you don't. So notice I can keep the stick going real slow and it won't hit me. A lot of people tend to just haul ass away from them, and that's fine, you know, do your own thing. Whoa. But yeah, it is best if you keep it close. Keep your enemies close. Oh shit. Okay, so Ice Cream Social, stop moving. Oh. Okay, so here's another thing, right? Is also, remember I said you can go into Disastrous Core when that happens, so remember that. Okay, don't move, don't move. Don't want to deal with you right now.
Material retrieved.
So I'm not getting upgrades on the left because I'm missing them all. Oh fuck! Okay, so picture in picture. This is the one I was talking about. This is my favorite, just because it looks cool. But if you notice, there's a bug there where oh shit, the turning red of the low health is not filling up the screen. So that's something I need to work on and fix. Whoa. Okay, so I survived that. Let me try and activate my shields now that I'm about to die. And let's see if I can keep this up. So yeah, when you activate your shields on the right, your multiplier activates on the left. So if you notice, now I have a ×3 at the bottom, which is going to go ×4, 5, 6, obviously all the way up to 10. As long as I keep killing enemies, I will keep chaining that multiplier, and this is where I was talking about the frame rate hitting the shit. So yeah, the frame rate on consoles drops dramatically when you activate your shields. And this is just a case of optimization, and again, that is what the purpose of this Kickstarter is for. This stuff takes time, man, and I want you guys to have the best experience, best experience possible across all platforms. So, yeah. Let's see. All right, so if I restart, I'm basically going to start back at Tier 1. Come back here and take a quick break and just see if you guys have any questions. So yeah, that whole thing about the potency of 10s, man, that sounds interesting. I might need to look into that. Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the idea of leaderboards and how I was talking about how you can do multiple leaderboards. And the guy was telling me, this guy Ivan with, oh God, I can't remember the name of his company. He's working, if I'm not mistaken, on a game called Earthlock. He was talking to me about if you're not showing the... Okay, cool. So if I'm with the leaderboards, the way he was describing it to me was that if you're not showing the leaderboards publicly, then you basically can use multiple leaderboards to have different scores on them. But the problem was trying to figure out how to make sure this leaderboard coincides with this leaderboard, which I'm sure is a lot more work, again, which I'm super down with. And again, that's what this Kickstarter is for, is to allow me to quit the day job so I can focus on this 100%. So yeah, let's see. Sounds good, man. I really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and try to... Yeah, let me go ahead and try to do a full-on legit run on my own real quick. So if I don't talk, it's only because I'm going to be full-on focused on this thing. So actually, let me show this real quick too, because I thought this is kind of cool. Okay, see, goddamn, man. Ripsaw can suck it. So yeah, here on the title screen, for those of you who have seen it at like events and stuff, this title screen is white because I had to remove the video. I had a video that would run in here, and it was essentially the trailer for the game, the latest trailer that I have up on the website, the Charismatic Status Apparatus. And it would run in here. On PC, it ran great. It was awesome. You could, even on Xbox One, as a matter of fact, it would play the video in here. And it was really, really cool because, you know, especially for events, because you would just let the game sit there for a while. And if someone was walking by, they could kind of see the video, the game playing in the little video. But honestly, I mean, the screen was so small that it kind of didn't make a difference. I honestly originally wanted to do a thing where it would start full screen, and then when you would hit the button to start, you know, to start to get it to the start screen, it would zoom out, and it would be this version that you're seeing right now is the dude sitting in front of the TV in his bedroom. But yeah, that's not necessarily so much that it's a lot of work. I could still do that. The thing was, on Unity is terrible with video, so I've heard. And the best thing I could do was get the video to play in that smaller screen. And you know, it didn't look that bad because it was pulled back, so you didn't see it up front, up close or whatever. So that was a solution. The other thing was, I also didn't want to. Well, not that I didn't want to, but consoles, like for example, on Xbox One it worked great. On PS4 it didn't. It doesn't support the built-in like Unity video player. You actually have to use Sony's specific like video texture thing, and that was requiring more time to try and figure that stuff out. And so I basically just decided to try and do something where. Yeah, I'm still messing with what to put in there, but I kind of I can do a thing where I can use what's called a render texture and render both sides of the ships, like just cameras on the ships that are, because right now the game is running in the background because I have it so that it's a quick restart, which is pretty rad. And I can have cameras on both of those ships just kind of circling them, right? So that in the TV, you're seeing that happening right now. Which would be super rad. And that doesn't seem like too much work. I can actually do that. I was planning on doing that over the weekend, but I spent most of the weekend just emailing a bunch of people about the Kickstarter and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go ahead and let me start one more run here, and then we'll call it a night. I appreciate anybody who's still sticking around and watching this live stream. I'm going to try and do them way more consistently. If anything, even just playthroughs of the game. Because I want to stay active. I want to let you guys know the work that's going on in. But, you know, having to work during the day takes a lot of my time, and then having to come home to work on this and then stream those updates might be a little harsh. But for those of you guys who have backed the game so far, I greatly appreciate it. I'm not going to rest until it's fully funded. So just wish me luck on that front. And if any of you guys have friends who, even if you're not, if this doesn't seem like something you're into, if you guys have any friends that you think would be interested in it, by all means let them know. Don't force it on them, you know, just make them aware of it. Let them know it's there and that their support is greatly appreciated. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do a good run here.
Material retrieved.
That also is something I thought I fixed, but I guess I didn't. Materials shouldn't spawn anywhere inside of this. Still working on that. I think my math was wrong for the amount of... come on over here, battery. Sucker.
Material retrieved.
Yeah, my math might be wrong for the calculations on that thing there. So yeah, those shields on the left, guys, the left side guys are called trackers, these guys here. That was a solution to a problem I found to some people trying to cheese the weapon system. So yeah, you'll need to break their shield off before you can start pushing them back.
Material retrieved.
Also, another thing I'm going to be doing is when the enemies come at you, I'm going to experiment with pushing them back a little so that they don't just go right through you. Right now, I like the idea that they go through you because it's punishing you for obviously not, you know, getting to them quick enough. If you do bust into them, if you do boost into them like this, watch, like that. You can boost into them and you will you will get points for them, but you'll only get 1 point. But at least you kept them from coming out to the right. So that's something you want to keep an eye on. If they run into you right now, you'll blow off their shield. So I give you one last chance. For example, say you're just here and you're not paying attention on the left, and he comes up to you, you can actually still keep pushing him back. So, you know, that's kind of cool. Okay, so this is on the right side, I have the awareness engine. If I hold the right trigger, I can pull the camera back. Notice it's still all blurry. But yeah, it's a good way to. Oh, fuck, that's a waste. So those those upgrades I'm wasting them on the right. It's a good way to just kind of get a better perspective on what's going on, but also kind of to discourage you from not using it too often. But you're not punished in any way for using this outside of the screen just getting blurry.
Material retrieved. Material retrieved.
Whoa.
Repair successful. Material retrieved.
So I'm trying to show you guys. I know I can extract, but again, the purpose of the game is to know when you want to leave your score. So I've got full health, or maybe not full, but you know, full enough health on the right where I don't want to leave just yet, because I can definitely make my score go up higher.
Repair successful.
And if you guys see anything you have questions about, you know, it's really hard to pay attention to the chat, but I can.
Repair successful.
Gotta find some parts. So I overheated my boost. When you overheat your boost, you basically sacrifice a BFP. The BFP will destroy everything around you on the right, and suck in material around you as well, which is super beneficial. The only thing is, you sacrifice a part. So if you were 4 parts in and you're ready to extract and you overheated your boost, you're no longer going to be able to leave the level. You're going to have to find another part. So you just got to be careful with that. Right now, on the right-hand side, I have a spare part, which means I can sacrifice I can, you know, blow off a BFP, whatever the case, and not necessarily be penalized for it. So that's actually really cool. Okay, so here we go. I got my shields going, or I got my shields ready. Let me make sure the stream froze here a bit. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start up my shields here. So hold down X, and now what I want to do is kill some enemies and start chaining them, because again, remember, your multiplier's up. Every 3rd enemy will chain the multiplier. And my shields on the right-hand side, if I'm boosting through enemies, notice no damage. So I want to be able to boost everywhere and not worry so much about taking damage. And again, this is the Xbox One version, so that's why the frame rate's a little shitty. Something I can work on for sure. Nothing to be too sad about. But yeah, this is where ADHD comes in. Want you to be super active, want you to just be getting the resources, pushing yourself as much as possible. No damage, no need to worry about that. And I just found another bug in the game is the voids in the back. There are supposed to be some enemies in the background that are not spawning in. I'm gonna need to look for that and see why that's happening. I'll write that down. So yeah, there's no pause in the game. That's why I'm not pausing to write down notes or something. No. Okay. So yeah, my timer counted down on my, what is it called? My, multiplier, so I wasn't able to keep it active. Let me start this back up. And if I boost through the trackers that are all damaged now, I get 5 material for them. You don't want to shoot the upgrade cells even though they say destroy. They say destroy with question marks because I'm trying to mess with you. I'm trying to make sure you're paying attention. So if they say destroy but they're red, you can destroy them with a missile and they will clear out the screen and keep your multiplier going. So right now if I have my shields going, I wouldn't lose my multiplier if that was the case. Here. Yeah, so I think it might be the motion blur that's causing that frame rate dip. If you notice, there's a blur on the right side. I think it looks really cool, but on PC it looks awesome. On console, it just seems to make the frame rate super shit. Post-processing effects, I guess, huh? Start this back up since I got enemies. Yeah, so, yeah, there's some enemies missing that aren't spawning in right now. Fix that, damn it. Let's see how long I can push this. This will be the last run, so if I do die, see you guys in the next stream. Sleep through all these bastards. And the music is also not final, even though this is pretty rockin'. I am doing everything myself and the music as well. But this is a sampling of what's on there. These tracks have been on there since I started the game. This track in particular has only been in for like the last maybe a couple months. Because I only started it once you activate your shields, and that came after GDC. It was in March, so that hasn't been in there too long. But I do want to have, you know, multiple tracks and stuff. Man, this frame rate is shit! Yeah, notice there's some audio hitch there too. Because the rate at which the music plays and the timer starts are two different timings. So that's something I'll need to fix there for the final release. Again, final 10%, guys. That's what this whole thing's about. And if anyone got in just right now, this is the Xbox One version. It's not fully optimized. I'm basically playing this version to show you guys the progress on it. And to go with the announcement that I made a couple days ago where every pledge above $5, above $25, will get a free copy of the Xbox One version along with whatever other platform they chose. So the platforms of choice for the most part are PS4 and Steam. There's a reason for that which I cannot get into. if it was up to me, you guys would have an option to do Xbox One on its own also, because I know there's a couple of you guys out there that wanted Xbox One version alone. But yeah, I had to do the thing where I had to offer it for free. And since you guys are supporting this game when I need it most, I went ahead and just did it. Let's go. So you can get into this weird, like, Zen type state of tearing some shit up and talking, but it's still hard to do. Oh yeah, so I actually didn't get into this. I kept kind of, I think, going in circles about that. On the left side, how you move and shoot consumes your link. So the thing is, you will start to black out on the right-hand side. So if you are consuming, if your link gets down to about 20%, your screen on the left-hand side will start to black out, and that's because he's losing consciousness. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you never hit 0. Just for the hell of it, I will show you what happens if you hit 0. Some of you might have seen it already just because I did it by accident. Damn it. So I have this habit of just hitting X to reload that, or relink the ship. So again, this is Xbox One, frame rate's fucking shit, but just want you guys to see, I keep hitting X. I'm just gonna let this shit go. And go. Okay, so blacking out, blacked out entirely. Notice on the top of the screen, I am losing 10% of my score every 5 seconds. I also now need to sacrifice more resources to bring this side back. If I take too long, the walls will actually cave in on me also. I do have the resources to bring it back, so I'll go ahead and do that. I just tap Y. That brought my screen back and got my score back and everything. So here's the thing. Holy shit, this frame rate! Okay, so let me start this up. See if I can push my luck a little more. So right now I have my critical health bonus, and I'm getting bonuses if I'm killing enemies times 100. So that was 500, but if I kept my multiplier going, I would have got more. See that guy gets 5 material. These guys. So notice that was 1,000 points a shot because I'm multiplying by 100 and then times 2. Also, this is tier 1, so yeah, I'm multiplying by 1. So there's a base multiplier based on the tier also. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave with 3 million. All right. So again, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to keep going until I die. This is the last run. So I do appreciate you guys sticking around. Please, if you find this seems like something that's up your alley, make a pledge. I'd greatly appreciate it. Tell some friends if you think they would be more into this than yourself. And let's get the wager. If you guys have any questions, you might have missed out on some of the mechanics, what's going on the screen, bonuses and the like, do not hesitate to ask. This is tier 2, it's the same thing. Notice the frame rate, and now it's back to normal. All right.
Repair successful. Material retrieved.
Kind of becomes a game that you can kind of zone out to and just play over and over again. Also, maybe while you're queuing up for like a game of Destiny or something, like a raid or something, kind of jump into this real quick. It's another reason why I didn't want to have cutscenes. Like, you know, there is a story to the ships and why they're on this planet and stuff like that, but I figured the time I would put into creating cutscenes and the like could best be used to work on the gameplay. The motto for my studio is gameplay first, ask questions later. So gameplay always comes first. If there was a gameplay reason for a cutscene, I would totally do that. And yeah, my mind would go crazy with trying to come up with different things you can do, but I'm sure I could come up with some kind of cool, interesting mechanic for a cutscene. But that's not the goal today. I do have some events coming up, so if any of you guys are anywhere near Washington, D.C., I will be at the Smithsonian showing the game at the Sam Arcade, which is the Smithsonian American Art Museum arcade in Washington, D.C. That's going to be awesome and a shit ton of fun. After that, I will be in October, I will be at XPO in Tulsa. That's a 3-day event. I honestly don't remember how much tickets are. For Sam Arcade, it's a free event. For XPO, it might be $20. I'm not 100% sure on that. And there are 2 other announcements that I can't announce just yet. But yeah, I'll be at those as well. If you want to keep up on the dates, I obviously will be posting them here at the Kickstarter page. They will also be posted on duelhanddisaster.com. So keep an eye there for any updates on that front. Kite bonus for the win!
Repair successful. Material retrieved. Material retrieved.
So yeah, notice right there, I boosted into that fireball. I didn't take nearly as much damage. So if you're just standing there, you take a lot more damage. I think 30% overall is the damage amount. Yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that enemy spawn.
Repair successful.
When you're being chased by those fireballs, that's where the A button comes into play, which is pretty rad. You can get to a resource and just keep circling it, but hold down A while you're doing that. The neat thing is, if you got one of these Pro controllers, the Elite controllers, say for example for the Xbox One, you got your paddles underneath. You can actually do that too and just hold down the A button. I guess it's a good way to cheat. It's not really cheating though. You're still you still have to pay attention. So for everything, like I said, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I can't remember who it actually. I know that's a saying. That's a quote from somebody. It has to be. I sure as hell didn't come up with it, that's for damn sure. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that button down. The thing is, that's where multitasking and being ambidextrous is hardcore, because holding it down makes me think I want to hold down the trigger, and it feels weird. Okay, so these are the red power cells I was talking about. Shooting them with missiles will clear out the screen. Man, I did not realize those enemies weren't spawning. So I pushed this version of the game to Steam for a variety of reasons, and I'm gonna need to fix that tonight for sure. Okay, so I got my shields ready, primed. On tier 2, shields are super beneficial, so let's go and start this up. The reason being is if you absolutely needed to, you could boost into those heat-seeking fireballs and rid them so that and boosting into shit like that, no damage. So it's in your best interest to be boosting around. Move to a resource. Stay in motion. On the left-hand side, you also have a boost. Sorry, I have to scratch my face. You also have a boost on the left-hand side for the reasons of moving out like that, taking these guys. And, oh man, I just found another bug there too. So, when you boost into a tracker at the last minute like that, I also want to reward you for the chain too. So if you see that guy passing you there, you can boost into him, you get a count for it, which right now you aren't. So I'm gonna need to fix that. Oh yeah, man, that frame rate drops. And the trigger, I can feel it on the trigger. So the rumble triggers are pulsing. I wonder how well that comes across on the stream in terms of the frame rate. So yeah, this is gonna be my last life, and I'm still going. But it's all about greed, guys. It's all about greed. 40 million, holy shit. Okay. Keep that multiplier going. So yeah, this, if you notice, this is what Jeremy at PAX South was taking advantage of. So when you get your kite bonus and you have the danger sensor slows down time when anything's around you. So what you can actually do is once those heat-seeking fireballs start coming in, you can actually take advantage of this. And that's where you could really start racking up your bonuses. And also, remember, the wager is a really big part of this. So right now, what's happening is I actually just got my bonus. I got my wager. So as long as my score doesn't drop, I'll keep that bonus on top of any other score that I'm leaving with, right? So I'm still gonna push my luck because I think I'm doing pretty good. That guy. That guy. This is where that shit gets crazy. I actually don't mind you holding down. So that was another thing where I used the paddle to activate my shields while I was in motion. Otherwise, you have to take your finger off and press the X button. Boosting those guys with that. But I'm not focusing on the left. I gotta keep my multiplier going. Uh-oh. Okay. Actually, I take that back. No, well, there's nothing really I can do outside of forcing you to not be able to move. There's 2 reasons to do that. So for sure, I am right now. You're not going to be able to move. You're not going to be able to move while extracting, and that is intentional. I had someone reach out to me, this guy named Dylan, over Twitter, saying that he just thought about how it was kind of clunky that you had to take your hands off the sticks to extract, and I had to let him know that that was obviously intentional, because I want there to be risk involved when you're extracting, because you can take damage while you're extracting.
Material retrieved.
Okay, so I'm about to die. Fuck it, I'm gonna take off. Oh! Oh man, okay, so that fireball almost took me out there. Alright, so I made it to tier 3 with 128 million. So yeah, the leaderboards right now, this is Xbox One again, the leaderboards are not working. So that's why you see the score there, and it just has Ask an Enemy and Frank Stallone's at 0. So yeah, let's go to tier 3, and this is the final run, folks. Let's do balls out again. So this is I'm doing 3 right now, or you know, the higher wager, only because there's no real risk involved right now. But when the final game is out, there definitely is a risk involved. If I do not reach that score, I will go down to 0. Or I will, I'm sorry, I will have the points deducted from whatever my score is. And that is still a work in progress, obviously, too, so. Oh no! Oh no! Ah! Okay, I took too long in the disastrous course, so that's it. I died. Pay attention. Pay attention. That is the most important thing I could ever tell anybody. Pay attention. So yeah, that is a dual hand disaster tracker, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. Please, if you're interested in the game again, back it. If you have some friends maybe that you think would be interested in this, back it as well. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions at all, leave me a comment either on the Kickstarter page. You can go to Ask an Enemy Studios. Sorry, let me switch this out here. Yeah, go to askanenemystudios.com/contact and send me an email that way. Yeah, outside of that, thank you so much. Serge sent you an email with comments and ideas regarding your number issue. Hope it brings some inspiration or points. Huh. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to look into that for sure. I appreciate you fucking taking the time, dude. Seriously, that means a lot. Yeah, outside of that, guys, again, any questions, askanenemystudios.com/contact. Sorry, you could even just do askjc@askanenemystudios.com. And outside of that, I guess I will see you guys soon. Thank you very much. And muchas gracias.